Hey everyone, hope you're having a great Friday. My Friday started off pretty early, as you know. Some of you have tuned in. We got a lot to talk about. First of all, the tornado ties on. I don't like the setup of this system. I'm concerned. I'm very concerned just because, number one, models have struggled so much, and I'm not going to get into that like I did this morning because now it's time to talk business. We've got storms that are already starting to develop. We're going to get to it. We're going to show you Mega Doppler. I've contacted Huntsville, had some people that are in Huntsville that said they did not get hail in downtown Huntsville, but you could tell me otherwise if there was definitely some hail that came down. It looks like the north and east side of Huntsville might have gotten some little bit of hail, and that prompted a severe thunderstorm warning. We're going to take you through Mega Doppler here and show you that shortly. Let's go ahead and we'll take a look here at the thunderstorms and show you where this thunderstorm is severe. So we've got a severe thunderstorm warning for northeastern Madison County and south central and southeastern Carroll County. That severe thunderstorm warning is going another 37 minutes, so it goes until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. These storms are starting to intensify a little bit. And in fact, someone's saying right here, Kingston, some hail earlier. So just to let you know, that's not a part of this big hail core. These storms are intensifying. More energy is on the way, and the models have struggled mightily, absolutely mightily with this system. So you'll see here this hail core that's popping up. Get ready in Green Forest as well as Rule. Some hail that's beginning to develop. This is known as a supercell thunderstorm. If we look off to the west of Siloam Springs, north of Siloam now, you can see the wind shear. Check this out. This is a camera located in Siloam Springs. Number one, the wind shear is off the charts. So I want to let you know that. Number two, you'll be able to see those fast, low-level winds with those clouds moving along. Even saw a little bit of structure on the way as well. Now, this is a little complex of storms, not severe, not anywhere close to the storm that's popping up in areas of southern Carroll County. But you can see the difference. See how this has not as darker colors or not the purples. This has the purples associated with it. Now, once this storm lifts out, we could be seeing a lack of storm activity unless more develops. So far, Amanda, the concert is on. I just want to let you know, I know there's so many people concerned about this concert, and I get it. But so far, the models are struggling so much on where storms are going to be, at what time they develop, how quickly they develop. I'm throwing all the models out the window, and I'm saying from experience, knowing that if we do clear out, there's enough energy from this system where storms will fire off with very little or no advance warning, and they will be supercells. So I do think the concert will happen, but I also think there will be times when the concert won't have complete, smooth sailing, where basically it doesn't have, where there's no problems. I'm not saying that. There will be issues. It's just a matter of if they're during the concert or shortly after or shortly before. So let's go. The longer the rain falls, the better. That's correct. Let's show you this here. Back to Mega Doppler. Here's the newest severe weather risks. Some major changes from what we had earlier. I'm not going to talk about each individual event and if they're canceling or not. Here's what I'm just going to tell you. I'm going to tell you what we know now and what the risk is. So you'll notice we've got an enhanced risk. That's a level 3 out of 5 for severe weather potential. Here's the biggest change. The tornado potential. It's going really high. And of course, you have 99% relative humidity because it's raining. So when it's raining, you have nearly 100% relative humidity. That makes perfect sense, Alex. Now, if it's 100% humidity with a clear sky and sunshine, then we got some problems. But you'll notice that tornado risk. So this is over the entire weather coverage area: western Arkansas, eastern Oklahoma, southwest Missouri. What did this look like earlier? Just a big 5%. The hail potential now, because of those isolated supercells, expected to develop a little bit farther west, and model guidance is struggling mightily with this development of the storms. That's why that severe weather risk has changed. So everything is kind of a lot different now. And it's all because of this energy swinging in. There is so much energy with with this system that it needs to bear watching. Case in point, there are storms close to where Peyton is in Texas, and they're tornado warned. They've been tornado warned for a while, and that wasn't even really honestly in much of the risk today. So check this out. We're going to show you what's happening, and then we're going to look at water vapor and kind of look at some different things. So look at this energy swinging in. A lot of it. Models are struggling to pick up on it. There's the storm development. Also, they keep storms around way too long. This is starting to move out, but there is that persistent southwest flow. So there is a chance that maybe these storms linger and the rain lasts longer, and the longer the rain lasts, the less it's going to be this evening for baseball, for any other outdoor activities, for anything else. But here we are at noon, and there is some clearing off to the west, and we know the cold front's off to the west, and we know that there's going to be a dry line that develops. So all that stuff, case in point, there's your severe weather risk. And if we look at the tornado potential, it's right there, and it's extending all the way south of Dallas for good reason, because there are already storms that are tornado warned. Now, it's interesting. I'm going to see if there's, in fact, any type of reports of tornadoes, even though we have tornado warnings. No confirmed tornadoes out of that tornado watch yet. I wouldn't be surprised in the least if there was a tornado watch that gets issued later on this evening. So why is all this stuff developing, and why are, first of all, the models struggling so mightily? Well, it's that good old Baja Blast energy. Look at this shortwave coming in. We can actually see this right here. That's what fired off the thunderstorms located in central Texas right there. That's moving northeastward. So if that starts clearing this MCS, granted it looks like there's going to be more cloud debris from the anvil that spreads over from the Texas storms, that could lead to a little cooler temperatures. So it's such a complex chain reaction, domino falling scenario as those systems move out. Is there a chance of a flop? Yes, there's a chance that this weekends and it dies off completely. I'm hoping that happens. But you look at the clouds, you look at the structure, you look at the system, and all those ingredients are there for severe weather potential. So you want to look at timing? Let's just see, and I'll control myself. But here's a look at the HRRR model and what it shows. So it actually finally, after 14 hours of not being good, it actually has pretty good in terms of the storm development. But then look at how it just, I don't know, it just keeps developing storms. And if that happens, look at how they intensify, though, in the evening hours. So then it just doesn't show anything. So this is I will say this 100%. This is a conditional hatched area for tornadoes. Conditional meaning that all the ingredients have to fall together and come into place. And that's not quite certain if that's going to happen. But here's an example. Look, we got a thunderstorm that's popping off already, and that's glitching again. It wasn't glitching earlier. But we've already got a thunderstorm that's beginning to pop off. And look at this. This is a stout storm. And this type of environment will develop storms like this where the models don't even show what's going to happen. That is big time blossoming. Let's look at that. Let's go to the 3D look at this and see that storm cranking up. Hold on just a second. Doesn't show anything because we don't have the right. It always adjusts. There we go. Oh, yeah. That, ladies and gentlemen, that, my friends, is energy moving in. And this is going to be trouble. This is why there's tornado potential already. This is why I got the tornado tie on. Let me go back and do that and go back a few frames and watch how fast this thunderstorm explodes. From nothing to explosion. By the way, that's going to make its way through. So let's go back. So here it is coming in. Watch how fast this puppy grows. Right there. There's no cap in place on this one. There it is. That is a big time thunderstorm that is just starting to evolve. And that's pretty sizable. So if we look, we can look inside this storm, look at the core, and that's a big core that's developing. So this will probably prompt the next severe thunderstorm warning. Look at how fast this develops. Nothing. Boom. Surface based, totally surface based. Notice how that storm's moving eastward, continuing to develop. Not capped. Models think it is. It's not. Not capped. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. There we go. And boom, we got a thunderstorm. Probably, I'm thinking the atmosphere is pretty ripe to, once this thing becomes even more surface based, it's going to be something to watch. Yes, this is a great question. Lisa, I can predict the path of that storm. And you know why? Because it's formed. And I know that the motion of the storm will take it to the northeast. So let's see what we've got. It's a really long radar loop. But it looks like that's going to take it into the south side of Washington County. Let's go here. And I'm going to do a storm track on this, and we'll track it off to the northeast. Again, we still have that severe thunderstorm warning for Carroll County, and that's why I kind of hopped on to let you know about it. But yeah, see that? It doesn't look as intense. Maybe it's going to fall apart. Maybe it is, in fact, still capped. I don't know. I have my doubts about that. Let's see what we got here for this thunderstorm. Pretty healthy tower. You can see the way that tower is compared to all the other ones. That is the upper level energy in place. Braden says, so with dynamics in place and boundaries in place and the warm front, do we really need clearing for things to go bonkers? That's a good point. We might not need a whole lot of clearing. So let's do a storm track on this. Those storms are probably moving at about 40 miles an hour. And a little bit stronger on that. That storm already has a hail core that's popping up to the southwest. So let's do a track on this. And what we'll do is we'll do a wider track just because it's a little uncertain exactly where it's going to be headed. Let's put it at 45 miles an hour because as it gets rooted in the boundary layer and becomes surface based, it's going to be a little better. So that's going to take it through central portions of Washington County. So let's see here. Move this real fast. Let's go through, and I think that's a pretty good track. Yeah, that's a pretty good track. It might be a little bit more northerly, but I'm also counting it to right turn as those westerlies come along. So if we look, there's your timing. So a little after 1 o'clock, that little isolated cell, that, by the way, does have a hail core right here already. That little isolated cell could be rolling into central Washington County at about, here's our timing. 158 in Clyde. How about Morrow at 1254? And you've got 1258 in Clyde. Prairie Grove, it's going to be close to that, a little after 1 o'clock. Remember, these storms are moving fast. Farmington, 116, and Fayetteville at 122. So just before 123. All right, so let's look at the new risk for the day 2. I thought they would upgrade to moderate, but they didn't. They might have been focused, Josh, a lot on the day 1 and didn't have enough time to look at the day 2. So let's check out the day 2 here. There's the day 1. The day 2, still, this is brand new. It's upgraded. Let's see what we got. Hatched area for tornadoes. Yeah, it looks to me, Josh, like all they did was just kind of copy and paste. And the reason for that is because this took a lot of determining. And so, yep, might get a good look at that storm from the Lincoln camera. We sure will. Let's go. Well, if it works, it looks like it's down right now. Oh, great. All right. Let's go back to that 3D volumetric here. Yeah, it's still there. It's still a supercell. Take a look here. So the warm front is so far north, according to the latest analysis, that it's not even in the ballpark of our state anymore, which is interesting. It's like almost like the outflow boundary. What that did is kept the warm front farther south, but then the warm front lifted so far north that it's now in central Missouri, according to the latest analysis. The warm front's a little diffuse right now, and the reason for that is that outflow boundary from the cluster of storms this morning, which the models, once again, as I mentioned, struggle absolutely mightily with it. All right, let's go back to this. So here's the warm front, and notice how that's located through central Missouri. So that's kind of interesting, right? Because originally this morning it was basically over central uh, Oklahoma. So now that warm front is so far north that we are in the warm sector, but we have that outflow boundary that's kind of keeping things in check. Let's look and see how this is supposed to evolve over time. Yeah, something didn't look right. I knew that was zoomed in. So let's look and see how this evolves over time. So we know that there's going to be a boundary. We know there's plenty of energy, and we know models are struggling mightily. So yeah, there could be some isolated cells this afternoon, late afternoon into the evening. We're already seeing something like that that's popping up on here. But I will say it's not a completely primed atmosphere yet. And we're going to look at some mesoanalysis. That storm's still severe, but it has weakened a little bit. And here's what we're looking at. We're looking at Megadoppler, just to let you know. So let's look at some stuff on the SPC. So I'm just going to bring this up with you. We already know the risk change. So let's go to forecast tools. Let's look at my favorite, the comp map. We'll look at the href too and see what that shows. Make this a little bit bigger so you can see a little bit better. But first of all, let's work our way from the top, the 300 millibar winds. Now, here's the thing. Look at that diffluence aloft. So you've got winds that are going this way and winds that are going this way. That spreading of the winds right there is what creates the tremendous amount of lift. We're also in what's called the right entrance region of that jet streak. So that's extreme lift. And if we go to our 500, 700 to 500 millibar vertical velocities, you can see that lift beginning to take place over eastern Oklahoma and northwest Arkansas. If we go back to the 500 millibar vorticity, here comes that short wave that's zipping in. And on the leading edge of that, that's where you're seeing the storm take off in southern Adair County as it continues to lift northeastward. There's another short wave right here that's rounding the base of the trough. That is that negative tilt, folks. So in softball, when you have an underhand pitch, imagine your underhand fast pitch softball, and right about this point, you're about to release the softball, and that's exactly what this system is doing. Just a classic negative tilt storm. You look at the relative humidities, and you can see they're high, meaning we've got plenty of moisture. We look at the 850 winds. We know they're strong. We look at the lapse rates. We know that those aren't great, but that upper level energy that kicks in is going to steepen those lapse rates. If we look at the precipitation forecast, look at how much that's changed now. Before it didn't have anything. Now it does. Moisture convergence is pretty extreme right now over that area where the outflow boundary is, which probably fired off that thunderstorm. I will say that storm is not taking off completely yet. It's maybe still trying to be a little capped, as we have what makes sense is some subsidence on the backside of this system. This short wave is not influencing the low pressure system or not influencing that storm yet. So let's go back to our 12-hour precipitation forecast. There's the moisture convergence. If we look at the helicity and shear, we're talking 60 knots, 0 to 6 kilometers. So that is extremely favorable for severe weather. If we look here, this is the 8, yeah. So 0 to 6 kilometer. Here is the instability. Notice how that surface-based cape is, boy, it's not far away. We'll look at the meso analysis too. Southerly winds kicking in. We have plenty of moisture. Dew points are in the mid 60s. We'll look at that here in just a bit. And then we've got the surface low and the fronts. So there's your outflow boundary. There's the warm front. So I love that comp map. Very, very handy. Very useful. Let's look at the meso. Before we look at models, let's look at soundings and see if they sent up any different soundings. So this is the sounding from Springfield. Not a great sounding profile for severe weather. Elevated instability, which is why there's been thunderstorms, but it's above that capping inversion, that capping layer. If you want to learn more about that, you can look at my previous Facebook Lives from last night. We went detailed through the cap. Look at this, Little Rock having thunderstorms and just not good. But if we go south of that boundary, you're going to see another cap, and you see also those temperature and dew points pretty close together. So you have a fairly deep boundary layer. Now, this is extremely deep in moisture, very, very deep boundary layer. And where the tornadoes are right now, which by the way, there's a lot of them, tornado warnings at least. Those warnings are happening right in here, where an area that the atmosphere is not being sampled. Amarillo is going to be dry lined, clearly 58 over 29. Let's look at KC. There again, not great because that boundary is a little bit to the south. And yeah, there you go. So you got an idea of all the moisture return. Okay, so let's go back to our forecast tools and let's look at mesoanalysis. Now we're going to look at a rapid update cycle, or that's the RUC, I guess. The RAP. So you see right here. And we're going to take a look here at some of the things that we can expect. So surface-based cape, what is going on here? There we go. Surface-based cape is kind of limited, but let's see if it starts. Oh, doesn't take long, does it? Look at that. In 2 hours, 4 hours, you have thunderstorms blossoming with 4,000 cape. A lot of energy. Models struggling with storm development. So we can basically say, yeah, there's definitely going to be fuel for thunderstorms. What about the wind shear? Well, we know this is already a given. Look at the storm relative velocity is 400. And if we go out in time, that really cranks up to the south and over northwest Arkansas. And it just is a matter of if storms develop. Let's look at the significant tornado parameter. Obviously not there because we don't have surface-based instability, but watch what happens over time. That's going to nudge in and that's going to build in. So it's all a matter of if storms develop. That's basically what the forecast is hinging on entirely. If we go to wind shear and do a hodograph map and look at hodographs, that's a plenty of streamwise vorticity being ingested into the updrafts, if there are updrafts. So we'll have to see if those remain sustained. 0 to 3 kilometer cape. This is interesting because this tells you the tilting and stretching terms. Right now, we're not seeing it, which is why that storm's not necessarily rotating. But watch what happens over time. Just in a matter of minutes, that instability starts nosing over, and we've got it. It's coming overhead. I fully expect a tornado watch. Fully expect a tornado watch. That happens later on this afternoon and early evening. And this is actually not good that we're seeing a lack of storms this afternoon, because the more storm coverage that we don't see, the more the severe storm could be this evening. No, you don't have to get the kids early from school. None of that will be that early. This is going to be evening, late evening. So I'd love to show you timing, but I really can't because there's nothing that does show the timing. Let's see what our temperatures are. Should be in the low to mid 60s right now. Mid 60s, I'll say. So let's go to this here and look. So there's mega Doppler. So mid 60s, low 60s in Rogers, 75 in Boonville. No, look at that difference. And see all that rain cooled air starting to clear up a bit in Fayetteville. So yeah, if it does that, we're starting to see some sunshine. That's going to be a problem for the activity. So yeah, that's going to be the end of the storms. Let's look at our Lincoln camera. Is it back up? Nope, it's not. Let me see what happened here. That storm still has some raining in Siloam a little bit. Yeah, Lincoln is working. For some reason, it's not working in OBS. I think maybe it was trying to grab it when it started up and it wasn't working. But here's the Lincoln camera. Hold on just a second, guys. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back, and wow, look at this structure of the storm. So this is that supercell that's developing. This has just classic textbook characteristics of a supercell. Um, you'll notice number one, you got the inflow tail. The inflow tail is on the right side of the storm, but since we're looking south, it's on the left side of the storm. So this right here is the inflow tail. That's why you're seeing rumbles of thunder. Let me get the camera off the screen. You can see this base off in the distance. So this is the beginning stages of a supercell thunderstorm. And we are looking southwest at this point at the storm that's entering into southwestern Washington County. Looks like someone's moving the camera. That's lovely. And it looks like it just got reconnected. Hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. We just had that camera and then it like changed its view and now it's looking apparently to the southwest. So we'll keep looking at that. Let's go to our Cartwright Mountain Weatherbug Network camera. Totally socked in, can't see anything, so that's not helpful. Let's go to Mount Sequoia. You can kind of see those cells off in the distance right there. Now, this camera is something that you can move, but this is that. Look at the base here. You can see this isolated cell that's popping up. There's going to be more cells. I just don't like this. This has tornado potential written all over it. It really does. Look, that's that little isolated cell. Doesn't look like much, but the wind shear is so strong right now that anything that goes up, if it gets rooted in surface-based cape, will have rotation potential. We got to keep looking for that Lincoln camera to see if it comes back. Looks like it might be back. Nope. Man. Come on, work. We're thinking there's a problem with the camera and it needs to be replaced. Yeah. I'm gonna stop recording on Siloam. That's done. Ay, ay, ay. Everything's falling apart. I'm in Dallas. Can you tell me what's happening over here? Yeah, let me go ahead and give you the details. Lincoln went down again. Oh. So, anyways, we're in the middle of a Facebook Live right now. Got a ton of stuff going on. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. Going to be an interesting day. That storm that's tracking through southwestern Washington County has a lot of structure with it. Okay, looks like Lincoln connected again. Let's see here. Let's go to Lincoln. Yeah, so here is that storm. Come on, connect. So you can see no recording connecting. So many problems with this. Well, you can see it right here. It's trying to connect. It's having trouble. It's not connecting. So we had a picture of that supercell, but it doesn't have that view anymore. But the thing is that you can see that tail cloud that's developing. That's the inflow into the storm. But just having some major issues right now. So we've been trying to work on this so many times. All right. Yeah, I know exactly. You could probably already see it from Mount Sequoia. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to Graduate. Camera needs a good cleaning, anyways. Let's go southwest. I will say this: the storm isn't completely taking off yet. It's not. All right, we're back. Let's see here. All right, so there's Lincoln right there. All right, so you can see those clouds. Yeah, I know. Technology is great, especially when it doesn't work. Updates on the concert tonight. So far, everything's good. I got to contact the Walmart amp with the latest. I really wish there wasn't a concert tonight. I know you guys want to do that, but it's like so difficult to figure out. Also, rain, thunderstorms potential, and on top of that, you got serious tornado potential this evening. But it just all depends on as storms develop, and that's something that we can't do. Yeah, I do. I mean, I probably look like I've been through the ringer, man. No doubt about that. Now you're welcome, Ronnie. So there's that storm looking southwest. I don't see anything super major in structure at this point from Lincoln. Going back to the radar, though, we'll kind of bounce back and forth to the radar, and you'll see that little isolated cell just not quite taking off yet. Trying, but not there yet. So I think the surface-based instability isn't there. The little cell down by Siloam, that's not there either. If we look west from Arkansas Children's Northwest, you can't really see a whole lot. Not much happening there. So we're good there. If we look from Siloam, not really much there. So it's okay. I'm flying solo right now. Zach will be in here shortly. He came in this morning to help out. Prayers for Josh. He had a little bit of a stomach episode this morning, and he's feeling better, but he's getting some rest. And Peyton's gone. He's with his girl. His girl's birthday is this weekend, so family comes first, man. Storms can do a lot, and that's why I'm covering storms. But we'll the other ones can get a break. We'll let them have that. So it doesn't feel like a tornado day in Bentonville. It doesn't now. But if this clearing takes place, which is possible, I'm not saying it's set in stone. If it clears out, you're gonna know it feels like a tornado day. Let's see if it is going to clear out. So this is the cloud cover expected for later on. Let's see what we got. So if we go to one, yeah, this is behind, by the way. Well, we're starting to get the amble. That's why I was clearing. The clearing was on the leading edge of that amble, but now it's clouded back over. I guarantee you that. Let's go to high resolution. I bet you were in the mesosector one. Let's see. Or maybe not. Yeah, I was gonna say we have to be in mesosector one. So first of all, look at the gravity waves. Look at the HCR, the horizontal convective rolls to the west. That just shows you have a lot of spin in the atmosphere in the lower levels. But it's not a clear-cut case. The clouds are not clearing out entirely. There is a cumulus field out west, but if those storms do develop and we don't warm up and we don't get the surface-based instability, then we won't have as much here. I know you guys are asking about what's happening in Texas. I saw a lot of comments about that. Why don't we zip down there? So yeah, we got a pretty decent storm that's north of Waco. Not exactly sure if it's confirmed. It doesn't look like it is. Rain's picking up in Bella Vista. Definitely some stuff coming down. So check this system out, though. This is just an amazing system. Look at this. Let's go to the satellite radar. This is a composite radar image. And that energy is a little bit farther north. But we know that some energy is coming in that's going to fire off some thunderstorms potentially. It's all potential, right? Because honestly, if no storms develop, then nothing will be realized, and then everything will be fine for the concerts. Everything will be fine for the Razorback baseball game. Everything will show beautiful weather. But the question is if that even really does come true. Models really struggled today. I don't know if you knew about that or not. I'm sure you did. Here's a look at the water vapor, and here's the energy coming in. So I know I'm kind of repeating myself. We do got to get ready for the newscast. Severe thunderstorm warning has expired. You know I'm watching these storms like a hawk. And if anything starts to flare up or develop or intensify, we'll let you know about it. Right now, this is just a little bit of light rain that's tracking through the south side of Fayetteville. Timing is pretty good, though. We said about 1 o'clock it will be knocking on the doorstep of Prairie Grove, and that's definitely the case. Um, and it's going to be lifting northward into Fayetteville, but that doesn't have any circulation, rotation, even like hail associated with it. So it looks like the energy is still lagging back. The instability hasn't returned yet, but it's possible, and we're only at 1 o'clock, so this could clear out and become totally clear. The front is way north now. You want to see where the front is? I'll show you. Yeah. We have that outflow boundary in, but let me show you where the front is. According to the surface analysis. This was done at 10 o'clock, so it's pretty old. The new one's going to be coming out here very shortly. But here is your surface analysis. There's the frontal position. So the warm front's way north of us now. But I don't know if I necessarily buy that analysis because you've got 57, 53. Looks to me like that front is still kind of right in the same spot. This is an outflow boundary, but I just don't know. You can see the kinks in the isobars, I guess. That's why the warm front is positioned there. But that just I got to show you this here. You got to see this. So we'll go back to surface analysis. Look at what it did this morning. There, and then ready for this? There. It went from there to there in 3 hours. I don't know. Seems a little quick. It could have redeveloped and formed an additional warm front. I think this outflow boundary is really clouding things out, like in terms of it's making the resolution of the boundary where it's at. Basically, the depiction is becoming cloudy, and that's a slang for just basically it's like Don't really know where it is. So let's go to our Lincoln camera again. Here comes that cell moving into Lincoln. Nope, that's not working that way. Man, could things work, please? Be nice. I drive Arkansas. That's not what we want. We want this. There you go. So that's the storm coming into Lincoln. Let's look at our Mount Sequoia camera. Kessler Mountain, that's looking off to the southwest into the storm. Nothing major, just a little bit of rain, some rumbles of thunder. But the question is, will storms develop? That's the big question. It's a big time conditional risk for severe weather, and that's it, that's what we're watching. So, all right. Anyways, I got to run because there's a lot going on. I'm going to be giving an update to news, but let me end with this real quick. If you are wondering how to keep up with the latest alerts, this is what we're going to tell you. This is the best way to do it right now. Is you're going to be using something called, well, first of all, our Weather Authority app is a great way to keep up with the latest alerts, warnings, but also if you want site specific warnings, this is something that we have that's new to our KNWA Fox 24 Weather Authority team. This is called Weather Call Next Gen. Weather Call Next Gen is basically a service that will let you know only if you're in the polygon for the warning. In today's case, what it did is it let you know that there was a considerable severe thunderstorm, meaning 70-mile-an-hour winds or greater potentially. That's the way that the warning was issued. So it's a little bit of a heightened severe thunderstorm warning. Weather Call is providing up-to-the-minute phone calls, text, emails, keeps you safe during severe weather, and it only lets you know if you're in the path of the warning. There's also real-time lightning tracks and safety recommendations. All you got to do is go to our website, knwa.com. You'll hover over the weather tab, and you go to Weather Call, and you'll sign up. Now, I'll let you know that there's a small fee for this service. It's about $1 a month, so $12 a year. But what it does is it verifies that those call servers will not be basically will not be filled up where that you can't get calls to you. So that's a great way to keep up with all the alerts. Also, weather radio is good as well. And it all depends on if storms develop. So Weather Call Next Gen is the way to go. We'll let you know more about that storm potential. A new update to the risk will be coming out shortly. Now we've got confirmed tornado warnings in Nebraska and Texas. So things are starting to ramp up quite a bit. And that tornado is confirmed now, located in the central Texas area. So the environment is ripe. The atmosphere is ready. The question is just, will there be storms? There's a look at Waco. There's a confirmed tornado. And we're just going to watch here and see what's happening. There may be another live, but it all depends on what happens throughout the afternoon. I'll let you know and keep you updated, but there's not 100% certain that there will be a live. I got a lot to do, obviously, to get ready for the shows and to keep the newsroom informed and all that stuff. So the atmosphere is ripe. Storm potential is there. Tornado potential is very real. The wind shear is there. The surface-based instability could return. If that sunshine could come out, watch out. Here we go. It's going to be a busy day. We'll watch it closely. We'll keep you updated. Thanks for watching. God bless, and we'll see you later.